All right, shalom, shalom. Just picking up where I left off. This is part two. To this video, picking up on this clip of the things that's going on in Haiti. So I'm gonna just jump right back into it and keep the precepts rolling. But before I do that, I want to give our honor, glory, and praise to the Heavenly Father, and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rechah They accept the honors of my apostles, elders, great millstone, taught me the 100% truth of the Bible, and who will well. Peace, love, salutations to all the brothers across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth in all diligence and sincerity, right? So we're gonna jump right back into it.
Erupts here in broad daylight. Why not? Gang warfare often erupts here in broad daylight. Why not? Gunmen.
She said gang fights usually erupt in broad daylight. Why not? Who's stopping them? Who's intervening? Who's stepping forward to stop this? Right? Where are the police? Right? The scriptures say that they shall not regard their kings nor princes. We got to get that real quick. And they still got police out there, but it's to no avail. Right? Them police officers ain't gonna keep putting their life on the line when there's mass killings, murders, ravishing going on. Right? They gotta think for themselves. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna let this finish out because I want to read that all the way through.
Men are in league with corrupt politicians and have some police on the payroll. That's according to human rights campaigners who say the gangs of Port-au-Prince have no limits. There are many here with stories that are harrowing to tell and to hear, like this man. His neighborhood is controlled by a gang whose rivals came on a killing spree. For his safety, we are not naming the area or the armed group involved.
I was in the house and I was so scared, I was shaking. I didn't know what to do. They mostly kill young men. My wife took me and hid me under.
He said that he was afraid, right? And I'm gonna come back to that. The men are afraid, man. The men. He's shaking. Think about it. It's Isaiah 13:9. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger. And we always go into it, man. The day of the Lord doesn't just entail the actual day of his return, which, that is the day of the Lord, right? But what it also entails the days leading up to it, right? And we are in the days of the Lord, right? We're in the times that are leading up to his return, right? And all hell and the calamities and the plagues that the Lord is going to bring have to happen, right? Before before the Lord comes on the scene, right? So it says, behold, the day of the Lord. This is also telling you that what? The day of the Lord and these days ahead are going to be cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger. So it ain't going. So this image of the white Jesus, right, coming back in the clouds with baby angels with wings, kissing people on foreheads and kissing babies and stuff. That's not what the day of the Lord entails, man. It says both cruel with wrath and fierce anger, man, to lay the land desolate. We know that the Lord and the weapons of his indignation, these ICBM missiles, this nuclear destruction is coming, right? But that's the end all be all, right? It reads, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. Again, like I went over in the first part, right? The sinners are who? You Jakes, man. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We're talking about you so-called Haitians, right? You so-called Haitians, you Levites, man, right? Who are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites, man? You so-called Haitians, man, right? The Lord said he was going to destroy the sinners thereof out of it. Of course, right? Going into these missiles, and that's going to destroy all the sinners of the Lord's people, not just the Haitians, the so-called Haitians, right? But all those who sin against the Lord, like we read in Second Ezra, right? And along with the heathens. But what? Also, these days leading up, man, right, are going to put a lot of our people to death, right? So I wanted to get that context right there, talking about the sinners of the Lord's people, man. Right? Let me get something. Yeah, jump down to verse 11. Right? And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible, who is the wicked, Esau, even the so-called white man, right? But also the wicked of the Lord's people, because the wicked of our people have been seduced by this devil, and they follow after the ways of the heathen. So what? The Lord counts them as heathen, right? So they're going to catch the same judgment, right? And this is speaking to them, because what? Our people are proud. But he's gonna cause that arrogancy and that proudness to cease, right? Like you women who are high up, take a look at this video, man. Read what's going on, man. Look at what's happening, right? That independent single ladies, right? That spirit, the Lord is gonna snatch that from the earth, man. Verse 12, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir, right? So the Lord is going to make a man more precious than fine gold. You can't just walk around and find gold and grab it and take it and put it in your pocket, right? The Lord is going to make men like that. And what men? The men of the Lord, right? Now, also, the Lord is going to make it to where, just the everyday man as well, right? They're still going to be around, but that spirit is not going to be, men are not going to be in that spirit of, for lack of better terms, not to be too bold, but pussy dependent, right? Pandering to you women at all costs. No, man, they're going to be putting themselves first, and you got to get in where you fit in. But mainly and more importantly, this is talking about the men of the Lord, man. Because the men of the Lord are going to have the answers. The men of the Lord are going to have the ways out. Because you might be able to find a man who don't know nothing, who ain't got no knowledge, but what? Just like that man in this video was shown, he ain't got no answers. He ain't know what to do, right? And as we about to listen on, he got protected by his wife. He didn't even have the spirit enough of a man to stand up and die for his family, man. We're gonna get it, right? Let me see. Yeah, and I'm gonna come back to this verse 16, right? To let you know that nobody's off limits, man.
Under the bed and was shaking. I didn't know what to do. They mostly kill young men. My wife took me and hid me under the bed and covered me with piles of clothes.
He said he didn't know what to do. I think I skipped this. Let me go back to it. This is verse 8, Isaiah 13:8. And they shall be afraid. Oh, here it goes. Is verse 7. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. He didn't know what to do. His heart melted, right? The word heart goes back to the Hebrew word lab, which means your mind, right? Mental breakdowns. He couldn't do anything. He couldn't give his family no answers. He can't put nothing together to get them out of that situation, man. Why? Because he didn't have that Isaiah 33:6. Lord, when we get that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, that shall be able to keep him stable in this time, man. Right? So, and it reads, read down to verse 8, and they shall be afraid, pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed at one another. Their faces shall be as flames. Right? They're not gonna know what to do. They're gonna be one amazed at another. They're gonna be astonished, man. These situations, these plagues that the Lord is bringing upon this place is going to catch people literally with their pants down. They would have never thought that these things could have happened to them, right?
And my nephew was hiding in the wardrobe and hid me under the bed and covered me, shaking. I didn't know what to do. They mostly kill young men. My wife took me and hid me under the bed and covered me with piles of clothes. And my nephew was hiding in the wardrobe.
Soon the gunmen were in his house. When his nephew ran from his hiding place, they chased him and killed him.
What hurts me the most is that when I was under the bed, I couldn't see, but I could hear the men raping my wife. They were raping her, and I was under the bed, and I could say nothing.
There are things you would never wish on anyone, he says. His wife is now pregnant, and they don't know if he is the father. He tells us Haiti has been erased from their hearts. Some police here are risking their lives, trying to make the streets safe. But others have actually formed their own gang. And Haiti's weak and tainted government is accused of looking the other way as the crisis deepens. Orla Guerin, BBC News, Port-au-Prince.
Look!
See? So let me get this real quick. Isaiah 13:16. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces, right? Before their eyes. Nephew ran right out of the cupboard, right out of the wardrobe, wherever it was, a closet or whatever, and got put right to death. Right? He said, of course, he couldn't hear it, but he was right there. He heard it. He knew what happened. Their houses shall be spoiled. What they do? They came and broke in with guns, man. They held everybody hostage. And their wives ravished. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into that. I might be too much. Just the videos that I got put up where they were saying it so much, but we know what that means, man. He witnessed it. He was right under the bed while it was happening, man. And he can't do nothing. What did the scripture just say? It said what? And all man's hands shall be faint. He couldn't do anything to get himself out of that situation, man. Right? So with that, man, I'm going to close it out. Lord willing, post another part. I got a couple more precepts that I want to get about, about the times that we're in, man, about what we're heading to, and expound on it a little more. All right, so with that, peace and love to your elect. Shalom.